Hello, Money Clarity members and She Profits Now professional services clients. Yesterday, I came live to talk to you about the logistics behind our Strategic Profit Accelerate coaching program. And today, what I'd like to do is just briefly sit here on live with you and talk to you about logical and realistic revenue mapping. So what I want you to do today, as you listen to this recording, is take a inventory of how you plan out your revenue. This is the revenue goals that you set, that you are also using to purchase your inventory, and that you are also using to plan out how much and where you are going to spend the money that comes from your revenue goal for operating expenses, hoping that you will be able to pay yourself, pay your taxes, possibly have some money for a reserve to go into the slow season, as well as build a reserve and or pay down debt and pay yourself, okay? So as you reflect and you do an inventory on how you plan out and set your revenue goals, would you honestly be able to say to yourself that you have a plan in place, a scientifically formula-driven, logical and realistic methodology of mapping out how your revenue is obtainable? Like, what revenue dollar is scientifically and logically available for you to achieve, versus just looking at prior periods revenue and identifying that, hey, I would feel really happy if I'd be able to have a 10% growth over last year's June, July, August revenue. Or maybe I'd want to have a 5% growth over it, 10%. What is that vanity number that you are likely planning, right? So my question to you is, are you logically and realistically planning your revenue out, using statistics to guide you and formula-driven results to guide you? Or are you looking at prior periods and just pulling a statistic out of the clear blue sky that maybe makes you feel good and creating that as your revenue goal going forward, right? Like that vanity, that feel-good revenue goal. If you can honestly say to yourself that you are logically and realistically mapping out, statistically proven what your revenue goal should be and what you have the ability to accomplish with where your business is at today, with your average order value and your new client acquisition and your returning client percentage rate, if you're able to say, yes, I do this, I'm very methodical and very statistical, and I stick to that number and or I apply action to that number so that I can create positive change and maybe grow it upward. If you're able to say yes, then I'm going to congratulate you. If you're able to say yes, then it may be that you're able to say yes because you've already gone through Strategic Profit Accelerate and or you're a current member of the Strategic Profit Accelerate coaching program. If you're sitting in the space where you are, like I said, taking an inventory of how you come up with your revenue goals, and it is that you are just grasping at feel-good percentages over growth from last year and dollars that you just pull down from the clear blue sky, but you have no way of statistically proving that those dollars are even achievable, let alone what you need to do differently in order to achieve them, then, my friend, you have put yourself into a position that you are planning out your inventory purchases, your operating expenses, and really truly living on a hope and a prayer that that revenue goal that is a vanity number that does not have any logic behind it is actually gonna be accomplished. This is why your business is potentially in debt. This is why you likely have too much inventory on hand. This is also why your margins are suffering, because you are likely buying inventory to a revenue goal that you just have not been, you haven't put your business in the position to be able to accomplish that revenue goal yet. but you're buying inventory to that feel good revenue goal. And now you're having to discount the inventory, which is affecting your gross profit margin. It's tying up your cash flow. It's creating debt, and it's putting you into a position that you're wondering, how am I ever going to make this business survive financially? Why am I not paying myself? How is it that I'm having to mark down so aggressively and that I've got inventory sitting in boxes on shelves and nobody's touching it? You've maybe even trained your customer to wait for the sale. So what we want to do is the very first place in your business to look for improvement and change is on your methodology of establishing your revenue goals. So in Strategic Profit Accelerate, through our coaching programs, we call this our revenue mapping. And what we do is we have a formula-driven process where we teach you how to pull statistics and data and information from your point of sale system, and you put it into our formula-driven output, our workbook, our financial guided profit and scale system workbook, and you calculate what is your logical and realistic revenue goal. What's your potential based on average order value, new client acquisition, like I said, returning client percentage rates, maybe click-throughs into your website if you are online only primarily. There's many formulas, there's many data points that go into the formula itself, but where we want you to be in your business. And when you come to us as your accounting firm, how can I improve my numbers from a look back standpoint? It all comes down to planning forward more responsibly, planning forward very methodically, realistically, logically, and using the statistics and the metrics of where your business is at today, then identifying how to improve it. So the logical and realistic revenue mapping process that we put you through in our Strategic Profit Accelerate coaching program, it is designed so that you are establishing a logical and realistic revenue goal that can then be dependable, that you have the opportunity to achieve it. And your business is, that's where the business is at today. You're going to accomplish that revenue goal, statistically proven, logically mapped out, because you know exactly what you have to do in order to obtain the, like I said, the average basket size, the returning customer value, and the new client acquisition. But when you establish that logical and realistic revenue goal, gone are the days of vanity numbers. Now you've got a number that you can depend on. And this number, this revenue mapping number, it is one that is going to now be used because it is dependable. It's now going to be used for you to plan out your inventory, for you to plan out your operating expenses. This is where we begin the process of projecting out what your business has available in cash resources to spend on inventory. How much inventory do you actually need to reach that logical and realistic revenue goal? We teach you to map out adequate inventory for that revenue goal using best-in-class inventory turn rates, using pricing for profit tactics and measures, as well as making sure that you have designed a very healthy and viable product mix within the categories that you sell in your own very unique business. So your logical and realistic revenue goal is one that you can accomplish. It might be one that you accelerate just a tiny bit because you know that you're going to add some initiatives to that revenue goal once you logically calculate it out. You might say, okay, logically and realistically, based on the statistics and the metrics that my business is accomplishing today, I am going to be at a $26,000 revenue goal for July, as an example. It's statistically proven that based on your metrics, you can accomplish that $26,000. You might then look at it to say, all right, well, I'm going to add some initiatives in my selling strategies and in coaching my team members that are helping me sell to up level my average basket value. You might even add some initiatives to connect at a higher level with your existing customers in order to build a higher response on your returning customer rate. Those are initiatives that you have identified that need to be put into action in order for you to move your revenue goal from your logical and realistic to now a very formulated, goal-driven, tactical processes, accelerated goal, revenue goal, right? Now you're building your inventory plan based on the action that you put behind the logical and realistic revenue goal, even if you raise it up a little bit based on initiatives that are going to go into place in your business. But no matter what, however you settle, whatever number you settle on as your revenue mapping for any given month in the year, once you go through Strategic Profit Accelerate, you are going to fully understand the if-thens of whether you meet that revenue goal or not, what you need to do, keep your foot on the gas, what you need to do to accomplish an accelerated one, but also exactly how much inventory that you need to succeed with that goal without having an overstock, without tying up your income, your valuable cash resources into inventory that you have no chance of selling because your business is not at the stage of the vanity number that you likely set before learning how to properly revenue map your business. So your inventory is going to be purchased with a higher level of accuracy. We focus on debt-free inventory planning because of the logical and realistic revenue mapping. And then we also focus on using that logical and realistic revenue mapping to budget out your business so that we can start to squeeze out the expenses that you simply cannot afford so that you can pay down your debt, so that you can pay yourself. But my friend, it starts with logical and realistic revenue mapping. That is the only place that you can begin to fix the issues, the financial problems, the stressors, the strains in your business. You cannot move forward with vanity number revenue goal setting. It just simply is not going to work. You can also sit and ask yourself today as I deliver this live, if this has worked for you in the past. If you're sitting in a position where you have debt, where you're not paying yourself, where you have an excessive amount of inventory and your cash flow is under stress and strain, that is telling you that you've got to be doing something differently. And I'm telling you today that it starts with your revenue mapping. Logical, realistic revenue goal setting. And then that dollar amount leads into more accurate, more planned, better planned out, more accurate, more strategic inventory buying, and then it trickles downward into your budgeting for your operating expenses, which ultimately affects your cash flow. So please give this some consideration. Right now this week, what we're doing is I'm jumping in live to make sure that you understand the differences between Money Clarity coaching program from a look back standpoint and what the potential is within the Strategic Profit Accelerate coaching program so that our very valuable professional service clients can really truly take a look at where their business is financially. We're delivering you the financial statements every single month. We're coaching you on how to read them, how to improve it from a look back standpoint. But until you are willing to step into this program, you are not going to have the tool set or the knowledge and skills and support and guidance. The tool set is huge, you guys. My financial GPS system workbook I'm so proud of it. I cannot tell you enough, but it's set up for you to really truly understand your numbers, for you to be able to plug and play scenarios. If I do this today, then this is my perceived outcome tomorrow. But again, I'm here today to let you know that it all starts with logical and realistic revenue mapping. And until you stop planning your business's financial strategies around vanity revenue numbers, you're going to continue having the problems that you have today. And we want to get you out of that rut. So there is your tidbit of the day, something for you to really think about as you consider this program. We are here to support you. We would love for you to jump into our entire ecosystem of profit-focused services. And Strategic Profit Accelerate is to the core of it, right? It is the signature delivery that we have to offer. So I will be jumping in again tomorrow. We go live on June 6th with these recordings that I'm jumping in, and I'd love to see you inside. And you feel free, when I post this video for replay, feel free to ask questions. We're here to answer any of the unknowns that you have any questions regarding the programs, anywhere that you feel that we can support you at a higher level. Thank you much and have the wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.